I'm a potato.
Fucking hell.
Yes, I love it.
You should have told me.
I can't do countdowns with this man anymore. I can't.
It's beautiful.
Oh, hush, you love me. Everyone.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Every other Thursday.
Well, good thing it's Tuesday.
Let us begin with where we were last left off. The fight with the cannibals further within the dead mire was a bittersweet success in that children who seemed to have been tampered with in some way, shape, or form were rescued as the camp was being torched by the collective efforts of Redwood and his companions. The tree that seemed to have been corrupted in some way, shape, or form was burned. And the group made their way back as quickly as they possibly could, thanks to Anwin's fey magic and her teleportation. However, upon arrival back within the village of Flexath, they had discovered that Cattail's condition had worsened. And overnight, she unfortunately succumbed to her illness and passed. Now, after having a proper ceremony for her passage on to the next life, we begin a couple days later. Celebration preparations are being prepared, are being made for Thava Winterfall, Cattail's next in line as heir to being the chiefess of Flexath. And due to the need for a familial witness to be present during the ceremony, the group has stayed in order to fulfill that role, for Theven being the oldest brother.
Yo.
We now arrive to that day in specific. It is... Winter is coming. I know I keep saying that, but every single day it gets closer and closer, to the point that even the swamp, when you wake up in the morning, has a bit of frost, mainly towards like that border between it and the greenlit hills up there in the Woodger Expanse. People are preparing decorations. The couple of druids that are within the village are growing beautiful flora and fauna to surround the area with, clearing up any unnecessary debris that may or may not be in the way. Everyone is participating in one way, shape, or form, preparing food, drink, offering. But that is not where we are going to begin our focus today. Theven.
Yeah.
What are you doing on this bright and slightly chilly early morning?
Yeah. Throughout the few days we've been here, prepping the celebration, Theven's pretty much, in terms of contributing to the celebration, done like his bare minimum of what he has to do as a familial witness. Otherwise, he's actually spending his time practicing the blood magic, like trying out different runic things, incantations, the like, just trying to get a better understanding of it. And in this creation, and pretty much does a temporary and like a 24-hour enchantment onto his longbow that makes it magical damage, and it now does cold damage. So as he has like this kind of blood smeared along both ends of the bow, it now has like this kind of fog from like dry ice almost effect on it. And even though it's getting colder in the swamp, this is especially cold.
This is a specific kind of arcane cold that comes from using magic. I think as well with that, Anwin would probably help you, because she understands magical enchantments. She knows how that stuff works. And I think she would actually, in order to help make the sort of activating of these specific sort of magics that you wish to implement onto your weapon, she would personally carve some runes that you would simply need to imbue with your arcane energy to make that enchantment process a little bit easier and a little bit lighter on you. I think as well she would also work with you and Barun on how to best go about your unfortunate and unwilling partnership. Now understanding that Barun is actually younger. But despite that, however, Barun is actually rather mature. Even though, like, in comparison to typical other Fae, and the fact that he is rather young, even though he confirms that he's at least maybe 300 years old, he is a very mature individual. You can tell that he does feel remorse for his actions, but at the same time, it's like, but you are still responsible for everything that happened and things like that, and I'm not going to dismiss that.
Let's tack on because it's Seven's working primarily with blood magic. I feel like a side effect of working with it is, of course, Seven has to use his own blood for these kind of things. So even if he's not currently experiencing blood loss, his skin is a little bit paler, as if, he just doesn't have enough blood in the system.
Yeah, vampiric look.
Yeah, a little. Not full on, like, pale, but slightly pale, because, just the beginning.
So you're saying you should have a -1 to all checks?
No.
Sounds
That's
like
what
it.
Bloodless does.
It's a cosmetic effect.
It's cosmetic. It's
I know, but that's Bloodless for you.
This is how Thevin creates the drow.
I'm gonna go back to
but as time, obviously these days move on, you practice magics that haven't really been touched before, kind of taking inspiration from the Blight and from Barun in order to advance your own arcane abilities in a way that's different from our next companion, Redwood. What have you been doing these past few days?
I think, I think Redwood's been using some of the spells in order to just sort of gain some of the plants that aren't available in the area for some of the celebrations, like growing flowers on things, and things that aren't technically possible by, swamp nature.
So you're basically helping with decor and stuff like that, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. He doesn't know how to plan for the trip ahead because he doesn't know what to expect. He doesn't know how to be social with people, so he's kind of just helping without talking to people.
Bella does approach you a couple of times to personally offer you food and things like that, making sure that you take breaks. On the behest of a fox that she does not understand, even though said fox is trying to speak to her. Because as being an overthinker, you tend to overwork yourself, since you do not know how to prepare. And so she personally delivers you food, make sure you rest at a decent time. Anything that doesn't get done that day can get done the next. A reminder that you are constantly given during these next couple of days.
I think he's also putting together more of these weird spells and orientations that he can think of. It's like, oh well, this would be helpful because I got hit a lot, so we're going to make magic protect me. How would you do that?
So you're basically like beginning to make your spell book, is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Do you ask anyone for help? Because you are not making necessarily a spell book through pen and paper, because that's not available. You're doing it through tattoos and runic markings. So do you ask anyone for help to access space in your body that you cannot do so yourself?
I don't think at the current moment, no. Because most of his spells are second level or below, he's keeping everything to forearms and maybe a couple on the shoulder.
Got it. You imbue these markings on your body with the power of the arcane. Being touched by 3 different channels of magic all simultaneously, it can be a little bit overwhelming for your body to handle. But you definitely are able to push through with these next few days. And you take the time to help with the preparations where you can. Chisel, what are you doing these few days?
He might be eating right now.
Huh?
Yep.
I asked you what you were doing these few days as the preparations for the ceremony began.
He's still chewing.
He's still eating. Stop taking bites.
Hands up, officer.
Swallow. Oh my god, we're gonna be here for an hour.
Okay. We should probably take this time to put in a little point here. Redwood has taken a second level into Wizard, and I worked with Eli on this, and we decided that since Wizard colleges aren't really a thing, what we did is we took the Sorcerer subclass of Wild Magic and are applying it at the appropriate levels for Wizards. So I would be taking, what was the name of it? At second level here, I'd be taking Wild Magic Surge.
So essentially what's happening right now in terms of stats and levels is that everyone is currently level 6. Chisel is a full level 6 fighter. Thevin is a level 4?
Yeah,
Ranger?
4 Ranger, 2 Blood Hunter.
2 Blood Hunter. And then we have Redwood, who is a level 4 Druid, level 2 Wizard. But Chisel, speaking of,
Hi.
before you put more food in your mouth.
Oh, I'm done. It was just I kind of had to rush with a rather large bite of steak, so it was very chewy.
Oh,
Oh, of course.
What are you doing these past few days?
Well, with like Redwood, Chisel's trying to help. It's just he apparently can't finish any of the tasks. So
You get distracted.
while
very-
Redwood's just working perfectly, Chisel's picking up a few things, getting them to places, forgetting that he was supposed to place something down, walk back, and just he's on an ADHD run.
So he's basic. I think eventually Bella and some of the other people helping with the preparations ask you to just help being like an errand boy, so that way your energy can like come out, because you're just, you know, running back and forth. Like you're starting the same task over and over and over again to the point that it's just
No, the streamers needed to go here. What needed to go here? Streamers. Hold on. Where are the streamers?
What are streamers?
Yep, ribbons.
We can make like some red vines. What are you looking for?
ribbon and streamers aren't a thing either, Brian.
So he's obsessing over things that don't exist yet. He's
Yes.
really messed up.
He's really lost it.
What shape balloons do you want? What are balloons?
Nose starts bleeding profusely.
The
Where
freaking
do I
Shrek
get
frog.
Where do I get sheep's bladder?
But essentially, those few days move by quickly as you all do your separate tasks in preparation. And then, finally,
Why am I being duped?
the day of the ceremony arrives. This is not the right vibe.
It's a bit ominous.
There we go, that's better.
Turns out the reason why there's. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go. Yeah, you're good. Everyone is outside the village, not only with preparing for the ceremony, began to move themselves back to the outdoors where they originally were. No longer bound to the stone cold of a cave, they seem to be livelier, to be open to the sun, even though it's becoming colder with the upcoming winter. The fact that they are no longer stuck and limited to their space anymore is very much clearly freeing, and with a surge of new kids, a surge of new generations being suddenly brought into the village to be taken care of and to be taught their ways, it becomes even more lively. Everyone is dressed in some way, shape, or form in finer garb. Cleaner fabrics and furs. Thava is dressed much nicer. She wears her true form on display during the day of the ceremony proudly. A laurel made of gold, another shiny material that none of you have ever seen before, gifted to her by Anwin as part of her new position, rests upon her brow. On her back, she carries Cattail's bow, a weapon that Cattail only used a handful of times within the Knotted Rise, when she was still there with the family and the village. A arch of plants and flowers from areas that aren't native to the Deadmire and Flexath have been kindly displayed and placed by our lovely druid Redwood with care and patience that only a druid can have for nature. Trees have been wrapped with beautiful vines that will not impede on the natural wildlife of the swamp itself. Creatures who haven't been seen in a very long time, natural life of the swamp, begin to emerge as well on this day, as if sort of like Lion King style of welcoming a new ruler back into the swamp proper, knowing that they are safe from the blight as the land properly retakes that area of Mire. As part of the ceremony, an elder of Flexath stands in front of Thava, who is kneeling, her knees resting on some furs and the like. Her leg is still wrapped and splinted, but she no longer needs that crutch that Anwin had made in order to support her weight any further. Her newfound abilities and Fey-touched blood enhancing her healing properties. She kneels there with her head bowed as the elder of the village conducts the ceremony. It is a rite in a language that none of you fully understand, for it is a language that you haven't heard of before, unless Redwood.
I'm going to use comprehend languages.
Ah. Today, in celebration of a new leader for all of Flexath and its people, we celebrate Thava Winterfall. Though she was not born here, she has proven herself to be an avid protector and defender of our ways of life and for our future generations, now further expanded upon as of a few days ago. Despite everything that has occurred within the past 5 years, she has proven time and time again to be an avid leader and willing to do whatever it takes to keep her people safe. It is with that honor and privilege I bestow the blessings given from Cattail, her aunt, and passed onward to her, that she may lead this tribe and its people with success and support from those who live within it. We are at your beck and call. We strive to aid you in your endeavors in making the welfare of our people better, and we hope, beyond hope, that from your crowning as chiefess, you are able to lead our people into an even brighter future. The elder draws some strange symbol in the air, invisible, before taking a hand and dipping it with a beautiful deep green paint, drawing a small symbol with their pointer finger on her forehead of circles and curves and lines. Thava bows further before standing proper and taking the ceremonial sort of torch, in a sense. Now officially the village's leader and new chiefess. There was applause and cheering and celebration. You, Seven, along with two of the new advisors for Thava, are requested to dip your hand in this red dye and place it against Thava's now currently bare back as a sign of we support you and we will be here for you whenever you need us. As a last bit of the ceremony and official rite. When you remove your hands, and when they remove their hands, you realize that there is more at work here than just a simple rite. Flexa, for all of its weirdness and for all the fact that it's in the southern and marshest place of the world, it is deeply connected due to its plant life and to the natural ways of it living, to nature, and therefore the divine. And as a result of the people cultivating and caring for the land in the only way they know how, with their bare hands, sweat on their brow, and muscles of their back, the leaders, once properly given the right and blessing of family, are given a special boon from the gods themselves. The marks on their backs, like on Thava's back, glows gold before becoming a permanent shine on her back as a golden tattoo now etched into her skin. You look around and you see ancestors of your people, of your family, standing around you and your sister as you are now the spearheads of the Winterfell family. You see faces you haven't seen in a long time, smiling at you. You see your grandmother, who smiles, gives you a nod, does the classic joking grandmother stink eye. Like, I'm watching you, I'm keeping my eye on you. And 7, you have a new thing called a boon.
Oh.
Once a week, once every 7 days, you may call upon the power of your ancestors to aid you in battle, giving you plus +5 to your attacks, dexterity saving throws, and strength saving throws. Along with that, you may also choose one elemental type of your choosing to imbue on your weapon to add as extra damage for 2d6 worth.
Okay.
You
Really
see
want to throw those? Oh, sorry.
what? No, go ahead.
We were joking before session about Thevin's damage and wanting to throw some black dragons at us. And like, okay, you really wanted to throw those black dragons at us, huh?
I guess now would be a good time to then tell you all. This is a secret thing that I have been planning for a while. That boons are an offering that you can get depending on your choices and the way that you interact with NPCs throughout the world. Boons will empower you to varying degrees for varying things. And yeah, they're basically like your one moment of cool badassery that you can use every 7 days.
Okay. And how long does this boon last once it's activated?
Your boon lasts for a total of 1 minute.
Okay.
But you feel your ancestors, your family, your bloodline, for many generations, you feel their pride in you and your sister. And I think in that moment that alleviates a lot of the guilt that you had. They've been clearly watching you progress throughout this entire time, during your journey and during your travels, seeing how you've matured, and couldn't have asked for a better one, a better son to lead their future forward.
And with this alleviation of guilt, I feel like a bit of a sadness kind of comes in, because like Devin has not really let that kind of sink in, and this feeling of that relief just makes him tears up. But of course, being who he is, he's gonna try and turn away from the populace so they don't see it.
Sava, knowing that your pride will always win out, and your desire to keep a strong image, just simply pats your back, and the festivities, the proper party begins.
Also, during like these festivities, this will actually be the first time Redwood and Chisel have seen Devin for a bit since he began his blood magic training. So the dry ice bow and the paler skin is going to be new for them.
I think Redwood's going to approach very cautiously. Devin, I know you've been doing a lot of preparation, but you should sleep.
Well, thank you, Redwood, but I've been sleeping.
You look like the dead we've been fighting.
Oh, do I know? As he actually takes a moment to look at his skin, it's like,
I think
weird.
there's like a little bit of water nearby, so you do get a proper look at your reflection, and you're just like, oh, I do look like a walking corpse right now.
Also, Redwood, that's a little hypocritical.
Well,
You should just.
I've been busy.
So is he.
Hey, I'm sure it's fine. It's probably something temporary. Been doing a lot of training lately.
You hear the voice of Barun in your head and go, that is not temporary.
Shut up, Barney.
Barney.
That's the new one. That's the new one. It goes
Yeah.
from rat bastard from bear bastard.
It
or
went,
whatever.
it went from bare ass. Now that I know he's an actual kid, doesn't seem appropriate. So Barney.
Barney, you have the purple dinosaur in your head now. He leaves. You feel his presence seem to like leave you be.
You can physically feel him roll his eyes at you.
But he lets you enjoy your time with family and friends. The children that were saved from the village, they kind of do like their own like mini ceremony to induct them properly into the village. It's nothing super big. It's something that like they're all just like kind of dragged to the side to do really quickly after the main ceremony. Afterwards, like Thava and some elders tell stories. Food is passed around. Horns that have been carved hollow for drinking are also passed around for everybody as well. The night descends pretty quickly. Everyone enjoys themselves. You all get a chance to relax and just kind of enjoy the for the first time in a long while, a proper time of relaxation. Because, yeah, you guys have been able to, like, rest at villages and things like that, but this is your first time in a long while that you've just been able to be in the moment instead of worrying about what you have to do next.
What immediately worries about what you do next.
Shut the fuck up, man. I'm trying to
That's
be nice.
absolutely what I was going to do.
Chisel, blackout drunk on the floor.
7 in the trees.
I do. There is that like moment you're all just kind of sitting. I think you guys like, even though you're like intermingling with the village and everything, there's like a moment where you three are all together by yourselves, and Shrub goes, "Well, what do we do now?"
Well, as I recall, when we were town, we were going to North of the Rise next, right? Chisel, your family? And I got outvoted because, apparently Redwood doesn't want to go see his, which I guess they can understand that.
The forest will be alright without me. Chisel has much a higher emergency in the north.
Hey.
Is Chisel even conscious right now?
I do. Chisel's just spazzed out, staring off into nothing.
Hey, Chisel,
What?
your family, North of the Rise, the mountains and all that?
10 days away.
Aye?
In the middle of winter?
Aye?
We have a working campfire.
Also, I'll get to show you all my old stomping grounds. It's been a while since I've been to the village.
Are you sure that's where you want to go? After
Well,
finally, like, getting closure and everything? Are you sure that's where you want to end up?
it might be therapeutic to return to the scene of the massacre and all that, to truly put it behind me and all that. And besides, if we pass it, we pass it.
Seven?
Yes?
What does
Seven, I
that
very
mean?
much appreciate your company, but if we're going to spend like a week up in the North of the Rise, I really do not wish to hear about every single kill you've gotten.
Oh, if I talked about every single kill I've gotten, yes, I'd have stories for the entire trip. But I don't want to say about every rabbit I killed or every bird I shot out of the air. I'll only mention the ones that are truly worth mentioning.
I'd rather go into the blight, thank you very much.
I'd rather get corrupted by this horrible magic than deal with your shit.
Mister,
not like-
I've seen a whale before. I know what those are.
have!
I
mean-
do not want a scrapbooking journey.
It's not going to be a scrapbooking. It's not like I'm going to turn every rock and say, look here, this is where a lizard was. It ain't going to be like that.
I need your word on that.
Hey, you have my word. You want to make an oath to it? Here, I have a knife right here.
No?
I don't think that's what. That's a blood pact, Seven. I don't think that's the same thing.
Also, with the amount of blood you've been losing and drained your face and over your cabin, I don't think you should do that for like the next week or so.
And blood.
I don't know what you're talking about. I feel fine, as he clearly has like sea legs.
As you like talk about blood pacts, Anwin approaches and goes, what is this about blood packs? That's not a good idea. Those always end bad. Do not do those.
He's
Allowing.
being weird.
7? Weird? She kind of looks over at him and goes, it's...
Hey, he looks about the same to me.
Well, weird how? You're gonna have to be a little bit more specific.
Okay,
He looks like
I
a
know
vampire.
you
I
haven't
told
seen
about
him in a
vampire.
while, but he is not normally this color.
I've been training him for the past few days.
What have you been training him with? Leeches?
No,
Grandma knows something.
I will admit, blood magic and Temocraft are typically, looked down upon by people who prefer to practice things that are a little bit more on table, but it will prove to be helpful for all of you.
Hey,
Wait,
and besides, if it gets us an edge on any of these abominations that we've been facing, I say all for it.
wait, hold on. Thevin,
Yeah,
you've been studying an entirely new branch of magic.
I mean, I guess. I'm not sure if it's new or not. I've just been kind of doing things.
And you never bothered to ask if I'd be interested, never checked it.
And when
You were busy
Tevin,
with your own things.
You hunt animals, I hunt magic.
Anwin kind of scratches the side of her face and goes, there would have been a problem with you and your interest because it's taking fundamentals of divine rights and putting a bit of a twist on them.
That is entirely what I'm doing.
The thing is, Redwood, I'm not going to full on magic spells and summoning and doing all the things you do. I'm just enhancing what I already do. So like my bow here, as he takes out the bow, you see like the dry ice fog billowing around it. It's a bit stronger now, y'all.
I have been attempting to write my own spells, and it has been going fairly wrong. Any piece of information is helpful. Last week, I had fucking feathers everywhere.
Oh, that
Hey.
sounds like fun.
I thought those
It's not
Did you
why
save a few?
Scrub was laughing.
Did you save any of those feathers? I could use them for arrows.
They disappeared. I was trying to make an armor spell.
I thought those were just the chickens they let loose. That was
Is
you.
that why Shrub was laughing?
Seven, if you're getting into magic, I need to be in the room.
Well,
Anwin puts a hand on your shoulder, Redwood, and goes, you have a bit much going on yourself, Redwood. I think you just need to cool it for a little while.
I think this is the most energy Redwood has had the entire time they've been here, and they fought in a fire.
I mean,
So
I'm not sure how much magic you would also consider it, because I'm also just taking stuff I found, like, I don't know, some guts, some herbs, and like mixing them. Because apparently, at least from what I can tell, what I eat can affect my blood, and that blood affects this. So I'm not sure how much of it is magic, and how much of it is just diet.
That is druidcraft and alchemy, and oh my god, Seven.
What the hell is alchemy?
Anwin kind of sits down.
Alchemy.
Elixirs!
Anwin sits down next to you guys,
That sounds like medicine.
and
I guess it's kind of like medicine.
she sits down next to you guys and goes, actually, this is more along the lines of necromancy, I would say. There's that word again. Anyone who would like can roll me a history check.
Okie dokie.
What do I don't think I have anything. That's against magic. This is not against magic.
Hey, 14.
11.
6.
7. You hear that word necromancy. There's something in the back of your brain trying to pin that for some reason. It really wants to tie that string to something else, and you're thinking. Necromancy, why is that familiar? Why does that sound familiar to you? Why?
Oh yeah.
What does this feel weird for? and then it clicks. You had said the word necromancy to Nuntius before he departed for the Golden Sanctum. You had asked him to research into it for some reason or another.
Suspicious.
Why is necromancy always... What is it about necromancy? What is it? Why is something about necromancy? Because necromancy doesn't add up here. Necromancy is different. Why is necromancy suddenly the thing that everyone is talking about? Why is it suddenly this unknown thing that you truly don't understand? Like,
Hey,
there's something in there that's itching your brain.
so what's the deal with necromancy anyway?
What do you mean?
I mean,
kiss someone's neck.
no, I don't think so, Chisel. But we had a cleric friend, Nuntius. He mentioned it, so it seemed very bulked by it. You say what I'm doing is kind of similar to it. What even is it?
Necromancy, as far as I'm aware, I'm not practiced in it, I just know of it, but necromancy is the connection to spirits, to those who have already passed. It allows you to contact them, it allows you to ask for their aid in various ways. If I recall correctly from things that my people have had written for a very long time, we recorded your history ever since the gods came in contact with us. Necromancy was a divine right. When someone passed back in when the first trial run, I guess you could say, of this world, necromancy was used as a way to provide families of those who had passed closure. Spirits would be held in some sort of plane of existence and for a time, but would also be able to access their body for a little while, and it would allow them to speak and say final words and things like that for family who had passed. It's not practiced much anymore. I'm not entirely sure as to why that is. But I do know that it's probably something that the Golden Sanctum would have records of. Or at least know of a place where they could look into it. But...
Well, hey, we'll make our way there eventually. See, I guess I'll find out more then.
Anwin nods. Well, far be it from me to keep you all from enjoying your celebratory final night. You're on Flexath with your sister and the rest of the village. Where are you all heading exactly?
Hey, we're heading north to the Frozen Pass. I'm sorry, not the Thrace. I'm sorry, that was a different campaign in my brain.
No, you're good. You're good.
There is probably a frozen path somewhere up there.
There is a frozen pass. There is a thing of a frozen
not
pass.
the Thrace.
Oh, so you're heading into the mountains.
Hey.
Okay. I'm not sure the state of the river right now, but it should be ice, so you should be able to walk across it on foot. So I wish you all luck. I, unfortunately, will not be... I will be leaving tonight.
Where are you headed to?
I am heading back to the Feywilds.
Ah, yes.
Where is that?
The Feywilds?
I think
You mentioned it the first time when we were in Mayom. I can't pronounce it. When we were in that town, and I haven't seen any sort of Fae, not even news from the other continent?
Because Feywilds are not in this plane of existence.
No, you just go left on the
Anwin,
other.
Anwin creates this sort of illusionary projection with her hands for a moment. Pulls a sphere and goes, "This is your world." Places it in the center.
Very
That's a
round for a
sphere.
flat map.
Don't.
Sphere.
Hey, it's
Don't.
kind of small.
And then she takes these sort of tubes that are like curved in various directions and places them around this sort of this sphere projection and goes, "This is sort of how your world works." As she speaks, interconnecting tubes touch this sphere, this representation of Umaria, Umaria words, and intermingles with them, and sometimes fades in and out. But they seem to be coming from different places all over the world. And she goes, "Umaria is a very special case in that it is a very young world, meaning it is a little bit more volatile and more likely to come in contact with different planes of existence. There are actually planes of elements: fire, water, air, nature, ground, nature. The Feywilds is one such plane of existence. It is where I and the princess come from. Due to the fact that we are not only interconnected to this world, but to others, due to the fact that the Feywild is a little funky, we are more advanced in terms of civilization."
Yes, I remember this. We met with another of your Fae and kind of explained that time was faster or something over there for you.
We have... Our creation has nothing to do with that of the gods. Our creation is from pure cosmos. Similar to how the gods are, but individually put into a sort of mass group of people, if that makes sense. Various creatures like Baboon and myself come from the Feywilds, but there are also others like the princess, and then there's beasts and other things of the sort from the Feywilds as well. It is not unheard of for people of other worlds, of mortal worlds, to stumble into the Feywilds, nor is it unheard of that the Fey end up going to mortal worlds.
So you're saying there's other worlds out there besides what we have here in the Feywild?
Yes, but you cannot reach them.
Not yet, he says with intent behind his eyes.
Anwin goes, "No. You genuinely cannot reach them." The way that it works is that when you enter a portal to go in and out of the Feywilds, if you are mortal, the portal will recognize your sort of, I guess, mana or magic that everyone has within their blood due to some reason or another, and will be able to connect it to an existing world. No matter what portal you go through, if you're going back from the Feywilds into your world, you will end up back in your world. It is to prevent different realities from intermingling with each other. Roll me an intelligence saving throw. All of you.
Oh, that's a 5.
21.
Okay.
The dumbest one here. 21.
It's also intelligence, not intelligence. Dave,
It's still a +2.
check yourself.
Do you want me to roll a saving throw too?
I
You
did
need to be as stupid as the rest of us.
I did. I did say intelligence save.
Fine.
Oh, I was hoping for a nat 20.
Okay. So you all are told this, and you immediately all take 3 psychic
Huh?
damage.
Just, huh?
You all take 3 psychic damage, and none of this information sticks. None of it.
Whatever you say.
69. Nice. Just takes 53 more psychic damage.
Chisel dies.
That's the end of Chisel. New character.
Nope,
Chisel.
Chisel dies and goes to the Feywilds. Side quest!
But Anwin looks to each of you and goes, realizing that all of this that she said flew in from one ear and out the other, just decides, you know what? Enjoy your drink, enjoy your food, enjoy yourselves, because traveling to the Knotted Rise is going to take you a long while.
Can't you open up one of those gateways, possibly?
It is something that I can do on occasion, but since I did it a few days ago, that part of me is spent.
Ugh.
I am not
Well,
like the princess who has a high amount of magic due to her connection to the Feywilds. I am not that special. But I appreciate that you. But I appreciate the fact that you think so.
Well, to be fair, he doesn't really know how it works.
I'm going to murder you.
I can like see you try.
Anwin simply just bows out of the conversation. And you all continue celebrating. The next morning comes a little bit sooner than the rest of you expected. For those of you who drank, I'm going to need a con save to see if you got hungover the next morning.
Yes.
That's hungover.
I don't think Redwood drank. I honestly think he just grabbed a cup and walked around with it.
You're that awkward guy that just walks around with one drink, aren't you?
Are you kidding me? I absolutely am.
What about Shrub?
Shrub wouldn't. I don't. If Shrub is allowed to partake in alcohol, she'll try it. But
I mean,
I don't-
Chisel was drinking alcohol.
doesn't mean that she's going to.
Chisel gave Shrub some alcohol.
I'm going to say that she tried it, but she did not partake like you did.
Just, I am okay.
Chaos Duo is not getting that chaos.
Give me the chaos.
So, due to disadvantage, due to the hangover that you, Seven, unfortunately do end up receiving, you will have disadvantage on wisdom and intelligence saving throws due to your headache for the next 24 hours.
Alright, he did.
Sorry, not 24, 12 hours. Brain.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, some hangovers, depending how bad, can last 24 hours.
yes, they sometimes can.
You would know.
I've never been hungover, surprisingly.
I was about to say that too, Case.
I know I'm the drunk of the group. I have never been hungover.
Anyways, next morning arrives. It is significantly colder than it was yesterday. You all had been woken up early to be escorted to the border between the Greenlit Hills and the swamp. You can see the gray of clouds of an incoming snowstorm beginning to arrive as the sun has just finally crested over the horizon. You all are tired to varying degrees. You are given warmer clothes, fur-lined attire, and boots and things of the like. Shrub is even given her own little vest. As she is now nice and cozy and warm, despite the fact that she is in fact a fire spirit and probably doesn't need it.
Oh god, at the first opportunity, she's absolutely gonna burn that off.
But you are met with Sava, a couple of the elders, and just some of the children that you rescued all hanging around, having been eager and up early in the morning. There is frost on the grass, the wind is biting cold, but you're up and you got traveling to do, so you need to get started soon. Sava does approach you, Seven.
Yeah.
And goes, as much of a pain in the ass as you always are. If you need us for anything, you know where to find us.
I do. And this time I'm gonna make it a point to visit sooner rather than later.
She nods and goes, we are going to look a little bit into... You had mentioned when you arrived the a weird tree, a desecrated area of the swamp.
Aye.
We're gonna go and take a look at that. And when the time comes, we'll have someone find a way to contact you and let you know what of our findings, but...
Hey, be careful, you never know what's gonna leach out of that blight.
Yeah, never gonna know. As she just kind of looks you up and down in your now, like, really pale, vampiric sort of look. But she hands you provisions and the like that you may need. You all begin your travels and your journey. I would say, Mark, we're gonna go ahead and time skip ahead by like 3 days. So go ahead and do me a favor and mark off a total of 4 rations off. You have an increased amount this time, so each of you will have 15 for the next 10 days.
Okay.
So 4 marked off for these couple of days.
Quick maths.
That is 11.
Yes.
Now,
I'm also
does
adding
that-
it to my current ration count.
I was about to say, does that add to our current ration, or do we now
Yeah.
have in total
So-
15?
So your current, as I understand it,
You got
add 11
replenished.
to your current.
You got replenished, so your resources are back to whatever you think they should be. And then you also got an extra 5 stacked on top of that just for this journey.
Okay, so now we have 11
We're at
rations.
11.
You're at 11, yes.
Okay.
You all are journeying through. The winter has indeed arrived. As you all travel through, it is cold. Snow has begun to fall on... Everyone's turning off their fucking lights. It's really hard to pay attention when all of a sudden I just see everything going dark. You all sort of... You all are setting up camp. Being in the Greenlit Hills means that there's not necessarily any large set of forests for you all to reside in. So you all need to... So you find a place where you can hunker down close to a hill for you to set up a fire. Shrub provides the necessary kindling and heat for said fire to begin and start. The snow has been the first day that you all had traveled, the reason that you are doing 4 rations instead of 3 is because the snow hit so hard a few hours after you had left Flexath, to the point that you were very, very lucky that you managed to continue going in the direction that you were going. It is at this point in your travels that you actually have to like clear snow away in order to create a decent, compact, like flooring for your camp that you're going to be making in order to sort of keep warm and keep the wetness of the snow off of you. The fire burns. Temporary tents are made at the moment. Food is cooked. Now, being that you're out in the open and it is winter, do you, any of you, keep watch? Or do you all go to bed?
After his 4 hours max of rest that he needs, Steven will then take watch.
Okay.
And I think every time we set up camp, Redwood is going to be casting Wild Cunning.
Okay.
It's nature spirits, and I have a bunch of effects, but I think the ones I'm using the most are to find edible forage, and clean drinking water.
Finding clean drinking water and fresh fallen snow isn't hard. You can take it, pack it into something, heat up the water to boil it, and strain it and all that stuff that comes with the natural process of survival. In terms of finding foliage that is edible, you are very few and far between, as, again, winter has just hit. So, trees do not have their leaves. Bushes are very bare of any potential berries or fruit.
Or even leaves.
The specific wording of it is, if there's edible forage within range, you know it and can find it.
There was none within range. But you all have your respective rations. And the storm begins to get heavier.
Windy.
It's heckin' windy here.
It's cold.
So, quick question before we continue forward. Devin's been caught in his fair share of snowstorms and in the winters. Can I determine how bad this is going to get tonight?
Roll me either nature or survival.
Okay. Survival's better, so let's do that. Even so, that's still an 8.
12.
You guys look around. Skizzle, your body is small, so you're more concerned about conserving heat and the fact that you, unlike the rest, are knee-deep in snow.
I was thinking waist deep.
You are not waist deep.
Because those two are very tall.
You are knee-deep in snow, not waist deep. But you all look around at the... You look around at the surrounding snowfall, and... Holy shit. We'll get to you in a second, Redwood. But, Steven, you look around, you can't really gauge, unfortunately, how cold and how bad the storm is going to be tonight. So it's really hard to tell. You're more concerned about keeping warm, keeping your food dry, and all that's everything that comes with keeping yourself alive within the middle of winter, or the start of winter. Redwood. You're looking out, the snow. It is falling heavily. And as you look around, you feel something hard hit your forehead, and you take your finger and you swipe away at your head, because it hurt. There's blood now on your forehead. You look down at your feet, grab whatever it was, because you can see the indent that it had made in the snow. Pick it up. It's a ball of ice. About a quarter big.
Oh, no.
And then another one hits you.
Have I ever encountered hail before?
You have not. 7.
Yeah.
You're watching Redwood pick this clear thing up. It's clearly cold. His fingertips instantly turn even more red the moment he picks it up. And you're confused, like, what is he doing? What's he looking at? And then you feel something hard smack the back of your head.
Hey, alright, hail. Got it! It's hailing!
Hailing what?
Chisel, you ask that, and you immediately get beamed in the forehead by a decently sized ice ball.
Now, Chisel, to be clear, none of us threw that. That was nature's work.
As you say this, more and more begins to descend upon all of you in your standing. There's no cover for you to take. You're looking at your tents, seeing if they can survive the oncoming attack of ice. Holes are being made in the leathers and the furs that make up your tents. And Shrub stands up from where she's sitting in the fire and goes, "This isn't safe, we gotta move."
Yep. Everyone under a gator skin right now as Seven just passes out gator skin pelts to everyone.
This isn't safe. Thump.
You pass gator skins. I'm gonna need everyone here to make me dexterity saving throws.
I don't know.
7!
What is
You
with
got
my
the with it now. 1.
So we've got
I got a 7.
we got a 6, a natural 1, and a 7. Okay.
7.
I have a quick question. Well, everyone, if I gave you 13 plus your dex as an AC, would that help at all?
It's a nat 1.
I'm saying in general, besides as I'm making a plan.
I'm going to say for this one, this is environmental. This isn't necessarily you being attacked by creatures, so I'm going to say that no, it wouldn't necessarily help.
I'm more talking mage armor.
It wouldn't do much
Yeah.
because unfortunately this isn't magical or anything like that. It's just you guys suddenly getting hit by ice.
Mm-hmm. That's luck, baby.
What is snow? I'm from Florida.
You all begin to take 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oof.
64.
Shrub,
Oh no.
if anyone would like to make perception checks to see if you can find any sort of shelter within the area, you may.
There's a decent roll, 16.
Is this by sight?
I'm
This
going
is
to use
probably
that
by
wild
sight.
cunning again.
Yes, this is by sight.
2.
Okay, so we got a 2, a 16.
Well, I'll throw it on there anyway.
14.
If it doesn't pop up, I'm going to use wild cunning.
Okay.
Because that also will work for suitable shelter.
Yep. Chisel, Redwood, you don't spot anything. The snow and the ice is suddenly falling way too heavily. You're too busy trying to protect yourselves using the sudden gator skins that Seven pulled out of his asshole.
Well, to be fair, Seven did a lot of hunting in the marsh,
Yes,
and gators are in the marsh.
You
so.
did do some hunting, that is fair.
They're rationally sourced, but really you gotta just to pull them out of your ass.
You all quickly begin realizing that this isn't gonna let up anytime soon. You gotta get moving, you gotta get to shelter. 7. You notice in the distance there's a cave. It is very clearly, it's like, you can see that some of the snow has, like, even though it's covered that, like, hill, you can still see the entrance to the hole. If you get there, you can get there very quickly. You guys will need to make me at least one more dexterity saving throw in order to get there, but it is your best chance of surviving the oncoming onslaught.
All right, lads, follow me as he picks up Chisel underneath one arm and starts booking it for the cave.
Okay. I'm going to need dexterity saving throws from everybody. Chisel, because you were being carried, I will say it is with advantage.
21.
15.
15.
Okay. Chisel, you do not take damage. 7, you do not take damage, and Redwood, you do not take damage. You all manage to quickly cover yourselves successfully and fully as much as you can with these gator skin pelts. You then run into this cave. It is one of the hills within this area that's kind of closer backed up and like underground, so it looks more like a slope than an actual proper hill. You think some sort of large creature probably dug it out at some point, so you're now currently in there. You all get in. You can still hear the wind. It's rather muffled, but you can hear the impact on the ceiling above of this sort of hollowed out place, with the ice impacting the ground up above you. Shrub shakes the sudden compact snow that engulfed her fur, and instead of it coming off and revealing orange fur, Shrub is white. Shrub is white and also shivering.
Redwood is going to use Burning Hands on Shrub.
Okay.
It seems bad, but Shrub's immune to fire damage.
Yeah.
Can you please tell me what your intent is by casting Burning Hands on your own familiar?
Heating her up.
You grab Shrub by her shoulders as she sits there, shaking like a leaf.
Alright, sit there. It'll be over a moment.
And you immediately light this poor fox up. Boom! With flame.
Turns out, Shrub turns into an ice elemental being caught in the snow.
And the white changes back to its customary orange. If you'd like to roll me an Arcana check, Redwood.
Can I make this a history? Because I've been with her through a couple of winters.
If you want to make this a history, you can.
19.
You think back to a few instances where winter has hit. To be fair, this is a very brutal one. Probably one of your harshest winters that you think you're going to experience, even though it's just begun. Snow will be heavy. Hail might actually be a customary thing, unfortunately.
Oh god, this is October.
But you think back to a couple of winters that you had with Shrub once before, where it was also pretty bad. She had turned white during that time as well. You thinking quickly have done something similar to her like this before. And I mean, you didn't think anything of it. It's just something that you think happens to a fire elemental or a fire spirit / fox in the winter. When there's no, natural heat.
Did anybody grab my Warhammer?
You have it! Please tell me you have it!
You do not leave your fucking Warhammer. You're not doing this.
No, no. My Warhammer was the one that was holding up my tent. I've always done that.
No, you haven't. This is the newest information you've ever told me.
Because it didn't come to mind.
Then it didn't happen.
And it didn't happen.
Okay.
You have your Warhammer. Christ. But yeah, that's happened to Shrub before, so.
Already changing colors. It's not that late in the year.
You're also not the one who's completely covered by it when we're moving through it.
That's why they gave you the vest. That's why you
Yes.
should have kept the vest on.
She has the vest on still. She didn't take it off.
I thought we went with the fact that she burnt it to a crisp.
She did not burn it.
Alright, we're going to find some other way to keep you warm. I can ignite you every once in a while, but that doesn't last super long.
I feel like that would also be a waste of your magic.
Hey.
We're traveling through the snow. What is going to hit us?
As you say that.
Almost.
I know.
Just,
A bear, maybe? I mean, a bear might have made this then.
As you say that, you hear a big boom, boom, as something
Fucking hell.
heavy makes impacts with the ground.
You know, I was about to say, this place might be something's home.
Well, Devin, go kill it!
I mean...
hey, Eli,
Yes?
can I throw my Warhammer at Redwood?
If you would like, roll to hit.
Yeah!
And as this happens, Devin's like, oh man, cabin fever is already setting in.
The echo of the cave kind of throws it off, but I just hear the hammer fly by. It's like, yep. Fuck.
That's
Devin, could you go kill it?
disadvantage.
Aye, sure, let me go see what it is. As he kind of stealths near the entrance of the cave.
Can you set me down first?
Oh yeah, sorry.
If you would be so kind as to roll me stealth.
Yeah.
I would like to
16.
as well. 18.
18. What did you get, Devin?
16.
You look out. You see this creature. It's covered in snow, but it is large. Its arms are long and lumbering. It has a thick coat of fur. Its tusk-like fangs peek out from its bottom lip upwards. So it moves around, looking around out the snow. This massive creature sniffs the air, cold and crisp, steam rising off from the heat. If you want, roll me a nature check.
I think I know what this is, but it's 7. With a 19?
A troll has made its way down from the mountains.
Oh.
And it is...
It's another fucking thing we define.
It is large and lumbering. It's probably the biggest one that you personally have ever seen, Devin. And you've encountered a few troll dens and a few trolls in your day back in the Knotted Rise.
I think Redwood is halfway preparing for combat, is getting Shrub out of the vest so we don't ruin the vest.
Shrub, as you're shaking her to get her out of the vest, like you're doing like the full-on lift up. You're trying to shake her out of it. She looks down and goes, 7?
Aye.
You know how you asked if this was like a creature's den?
Aye, I think I figured it out.
Well, you look down. You take a step and you hear something crack, something brittle. You look down. Bones
Aye.
litter the floor of this thing.
I think we didn't see that before. Anywho. Ready's bow.
So are we fighting this in here, or are we fighting it out there?
I say let's
if
bring
we
it
go
here.
out there, we're going to get beaten to death by the sky.
But if
Aye.
we fight in here, it's really small and enclosed. And I don't
Which is
like those
perfect for
odds.
lighting it on fire.
But I don't like those odds.
Aye, too bad we gotta work with what we got.
I adore you, but if you're going to offer criticism, offer advice as well.
We could always go deeper.
Rob is just basically gonna, like, yip at you, bites your hand. Roll me, fuck.
Roll. It's 1 damage. That's.
This is more for a, depending on how, like, she bites at your hand. I'm trying to think of what it would be to make sure that you don't drop her. Make a dexterity.
Sleight of hand?
Yeah, make it sleight of hand.
19.
She bites your hand and you almost drop her because, ow, a fox biting you hurts. But
Wow.
you keep hold. And I think you realize in that moment that Shrub was going to go outside to try starting to fight this thing. And you managed to stop her.
Rob, you don't have. Yeah, if you don't want to fight this thing, you don't have to fight this thing. But please, dear God, do not throw yourself outside.
While that drama's going on, go ahead and just put a hunter's mark on the troll.
You put a hunter's mark on the troll. You hear more. This thing isn't moving. It's standing still, looking around at its environment. But you hear another set of footfalls. Equally large, angry huffs, and you turn your head to the left and you see another one coming in. Similar size, maybe a couple of inches taller, but it is big. Roll me another stealth check for those who find the cave's entrance.
27.
Izzle, are you also rolling stealth?
5.
Izzle,
Hi.
you move to get closer.
Right.
And yeah, you step on something and emit a loud snap. Time freezes. The trolls look to their own home and sees an individual, small, perfect meal size, standing at its entrance.
Perfect snack size.
Good old fashioned hors d'oeuvre, just sitting at the entrance to their cave.
Obviously, there's a trap. You shouldn't go for it.
Trolls are stupid, though.
Yeah, trolls are very dumb. And they're gonna start. One roars, the other begins to charge. Two trolls.
Actually, Shrub, if we could do the fire. We need a wall.
In here now? What?
Between us and them!
I have an idea. And it's a stupid, chaotic idea. Chisel's gonna run out into the storm.
Oh no.
Roll me a dexterity saving throw for the hail within the storm, please.
9.
You take another 4 bludgeoning damage from the ice falling. But you're outside.
I'm going to try to lead them away.
Oh?
Then we'll follow.
If you're trying, I'd say this is a performance check for you, Chisel.
Oh boy.
You are chicken nugget sized. Very tempting.
19.
Very tempting.
You immediately run out of the cave, kind of swinging your arms around, shouting, being as loud and obnoxious as possible, gathering the attention of the trolls, since they did only spot you, and that you're their prey, and you are currently running. They're gonna go after you. 7. You are also moving outside. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
17.
You do not take any damage from the falling hail. Redwood, what do you do? Do you stay in the cave or do you follow after your companions?
I don't know where they're going with the things, and I'm trying to come up with strategies. I'm like, well, now they're out there, we're in here, and we can make a wall now, And both the bad things are out there.
Shrub goes, but so are our friends.
We can wait till they get through.
But what happens when the firewall goes out?
I don't know.
I think with this
Would they have
panic,
to roll stealth?
I think
Since
I would say
Redwood
yes.
now
Redwood,
yelled.
you are yelling. Can you roll me
Would just
stealth,
scream, I don't know, and they turn around.
stealth with disadvantage?
9.
Yep, there it is. You shout, I don't know! And it echoes in this cave, and the sound travels out into the open air. There's still a troll chasing you, Chisel, but one of them turns around and begins lumbering their way towards the noise of their cave.
Trump set up the wall!
What? Why? What's happening?
Oh!
And that is where we shall end this episode. We will pick up next time with combat with 2 trolls in hail. Thank you everybody so much for watching. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Chronicles of Umaria Part 1 Shadow Falls. We will see you next week, Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. EST. Please be sure to follow us here on Twitch. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. If we get to 500, we can monetize and start doing this full time for you guys. Follow us on Spotify and on Instagram for regular updates on there. We will see you next time.
Goodbye. Trolls, baby!